Edelio, what's going on, man?
Nothing, dude. I'm really excited to do this podcast because you and I have, in full transparency, we've done a couple of these solo podcasts where we just kind of catch up and talk about what's going on in our lives. And I feel like for some reason, there's some sort of friction that doesn't allow these podcasts to just come to fruition. We've done what, like 4 or 5 of these?
Yeah.
And this 100% will be the first one that actually goes live. So I was thinking about this and I was going,
Wait, we've never went live with one of our solo episodes? The first episode was...
we only had one solo episode that we went live with.
Okay.
We actually posted, and that one, we know what happened with that one, right? I don't think we talked about it publicly, but we talked about some topics and we saw the reach got completely capped. Yeah. So even though we're not a huge production yet.
Yeah, if you're an MMA fan, let's just say the first name, let's say the last name is Adesanya.
Right. Yeah.
That's the topic.
That's the topic. So that obviously triggered the algorithm to do some fuckery. And unfortunately, that's just the game we have to play if we want to grow this thing. So not saying that we're self-censoring, but we can still talk about what we want to talk about while skirting around a certain topic that, obviously the algo gods don't want you to talk about. But anyways, man, I'm excited for these these solo episodes because these are the ones where I get to just hang out with you, talk about the things that we've been going through, the things that we've been seeing, and obviously like the stuff that we've experienced ever since we started the podcast. Like, I know for me, it's been pretty transformational. Like, what are some of the things that you've experienced ever since we started doing this?
Man, I would say one of the big things is we've gotten so much more comfortable just kind of kicking the shit and just enjoying ourselves on camera, not taking ourselves too seriously. I think the very first episode we shot, was that the first episode we shot wasn't a solo episode?
No. I think the very first episode we shot was before the It Show was the It Show. You had a completely different branch out.
Yeah.
And that one never came out, which I also like.
It was called The Shit Show.
It's called The Shit Show. That one just didn't have the same ring to it. We just had to take the out of it.
The same thought process.
Same, yeah.
It was about independent thinking. But the IT show, for all those IT nerds out there, already owned the IT show. And then I started realizing the Shit Show is also already taken, and every good name that you can think of is kind of already taken a little bit. So it's like, well, fuck it. Like, let's just run with the It Show. There's none of them that are about independent thinking and none of them that are tackling the subjects we talk about. So, if we get forced to change our name one day, we'll just change our name.
Yeah, we'll address that when it comes.
When the time comes.
Yeah.
100%.
But dude, I guess what I'm interested to know about your current trajectory is we've had some pretty influential people on the podcast so far. We've had about 10 episodes that have gone live. And I know for myself, having some of these conversations not only makes me rethink or question some of the beliefs that I've had, but it also influences the actions that I take. For example, like the Dan Grieb episode, that one was full of gems. And it had so many different things that resonated with me personally that I was just like, dude, I have to watch this again, just for myself, just so I can listen to Dan talk about some of these concepts and topics that he's clearly internalized over decades.
Yeah.
Also, the Elliot Hunt episode is one of the most recent ones we had. And turns out, right after that episode, I had no doubt, but she won Rising Star. And some of the stuff that she had to say and some of the things that she opened up about they also resonated. They're very, universal.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable stuff that she shared. And it allowed me to realize, like, some of the, I guess, struggles and some of the challenges that I constantly keep facing are very much something that everybody goes through. And the most important thing for me to keep in mind is, like, how much am I allowing external factors and external energies to affect my own internal energy and my mindset? Looking back at that very first episode that we did, that we'll probably post at some point, just, looking back, I realized, just looking at it, the way that I was speaking and the energy that I was producing was at a different caliber.
Yeah.
Um,
Lower caliber.
Funny enough, no, it was a little bit higher caliber. Like, I think my experience is more developed now,
Yeah.
but I have clearly allowed the influence of maybe negative energies around me, or the influence of that hypnotic rhythm that we talk about, to just kind of seep in, because I stopped the practice of taking care of myself first, being strong in my own energy, in my own psyche, in my own self-development.
Yeah.
So the moment that I kind of hit pause on that, everything else just rushes in. And realizing that I did that, I was just like, all right, dude, this is good that I realized it at this point, but it's also bad that I allowed it to get to that point. So doing this has been incredible for self discovery for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would say the same thing, man. And I do a decent amount of speaking, but doing a podcast felt completely different because it's one of these things where whenever you have to step in front of a room, you almost have to step into character because it's what's expected, especially if you're being invited to speak onto somebody else's stage. Like, you can't go up there and just be like, man, I had a rough day today, so we're just gonna, hey, what's up, guys? Energy week. Like, when you show up, you got to show up strong, so you get invited back, so that you're making a lasting impression and actually impacting the people that are actually there. Whereas here, sometimes, like, I mean, at the start of this episode, I'm like, man, I need a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, I saw you grab your water. I was like, I'm gonna go grab a water right before we get started here. But I'm allowing to just kind of flow, because I think if you take yourself too serious, you're gonna show up way less effective when the time actually comes for you to, like, turn the lights on. Like, I'm taking myself serious to make sure we're delivering value to our audience, to the people that are here. But at the same time, like, if I got a tight butthole the whole time, like, I'm gonna be kind of trying to be this character, and I won't be natural. We won't be flowing. We won't be cracking jokes, which I think one of the biggest takeaways I got from somebody who watched our content one day was like, well, you're like really funny. I was like, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. He's like, yeah, but I don't see any of that on your content. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And that kind of is what birthed Dr. Lone Rescue, which was the first comedic skit we did. And my boy Edelio here, if you haven't watched it, Oscar-worthy performance.
Oh, come on.
He's in the wrong profession. Let's just put it like that.
Or maybe I'm in the right profession. I'm just gonna keep on the acting thing as like the hobby that takes it off.
Listen, all I know is I seen him get resuscitated. I seen him die. I seen him get resuscitated. I seen him rebirth. The phoenix in the flesh.
That was a fun skit. I'm glad that you had that brainchild, and like the process of making that too was really fun, because you have this idea that obviously like starts with someone giving you feedback. And then you go like, all right, let me try and lean more into the stuff that I know I'm comfortable with. It's being funny, cracking things, like being topical about something that I think can resonate and make somebody laugh.
Yeah.
And then you start with the idea. And then as you bring other people into the process, because Elliot was there, I was there, we also bring a little bit of flavor and editing and auditing of things. And like the initial thing that you wanted to do kind of transformed into its own thing as we started working together.
Yeah.
That to me is like the best part of creativity, is having the idea, the seed, but like it's almost like you have this surrogacy pregnancy of the idea as you work with other people to make it to birth something completely different. And that was a lot of fun.
So fun. That was probably the most fun I've ever had shooting content.
Yeah.
And then the perfectionism kicked in afterwards, because we shot it the same day, as a matter of fact, after Elliot's episode.
Yeah.
Same exact day we shot that content, and then it just lingered in the abyss for a month until it finally hit the internet. Because I have my own perfection issues of like, hey, I want this, and it wasn't even 100% of what I wanted, but at the end of the day, I was like, it embodies everything that I was aiming for. And if the idea wasn't to be poorly edited or crudely edited where it's just like super cheesy, then it's like it checks all the boxes. And I think that kind of ties into some of the perfectionism that a lot of us fall victim to, right? Is we have to be perfect before we launch. And the reality is you don't have to be perfect at all. You just have to be willing to launch, and you have to be willing to be seen, and you have to be willing to be seen imperfectly. Yeah. And that right there, if you can be willing to just do that, you can always win. As a matter of fact, I just came back from Michigan. Man, has it already been? It's been a week and a half, I guess, at this point. And there was a guy there who ended up speaking to our group, which I thought is amazing. His name is Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia is the owner and CEO of a company called United Wholesale Mortgage, which if you're not in the mortgage or real estate world, you have no idea who this guy is, unless, of course, you're also a basketball fan, because the owner and CEO of UWM also owns the Phoenix Suns. So kind of a big deal. And he came and he's like, I'm really busy. I'll come speak to your group for 10 minutes. And we're like, fantastic. He ended up staying with us for 28 minutes, which super grateful for, and it was amazing. But he said some things that I thought were really, really profound. One of the things he talked about was his biggest fear for any of us moving forward into 2026 and beyond is simply just not setting goals, which sounds so elementary.
Yeah, basic, yeah.
Not setting goals, come on. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh God, like I rolled my eyes. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like this is ridiculous, And then as he started to expand on, I'm like, oh my God, I think the simplicity is its genius. Because what he said was, it was the first year, it was either 2016, 2017, I don't remember the exact year it was, but it was the first year they became the #1 lender in the country. So they're beating out Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, Rocket, Quicken, all of them. Yeah. They were beating them all out in the mortgage channel in that 1 year. And at that point in time, it was 32 billion in production was what was needed to be #1. And, pretty amazing feat to be able to accomplish 32 billion. And he goes to his team and he's like, hey guys, we did 32 billion. We're #1, amazing. Everybody's happy. Everybody's celebrating. And he's like, I want us to double in the next 4 years. So I think it was 2016. And by the end of 2020, he wanted to be at 60 billion. And his team was like, I don't know if that's possible. Other team members are like, man, we're already #1. Like, we don't need to do anything different. Let's just do more of what we've already done. And doubling, it took us so much just to get to 32. Yeah. And he's like, well, one of the few times that I use my executive hat and say, I don't care what you think. Here's what we're doing. Yeah. And they set the goal. And then he started breaking down the goal of going from 32 billion to 60 billion in the next 4 years. He's like, how do we accomplish this? And he broke down this big goal into other sub goals. And one of the goals was, we need to get faster. We need to get from the average point at that point was 17 days from submission to clear to close. Okay. It took them 70 days when you submit a loan. 17 days, you get a loan that's officially clear to close. Like, we need to get this number from 17 to 12. How do we do it? And they started thinking. They started having the brainchild, like you talk about the surrogacy of this brainchild. And they're like, well, the first thing we can do is most brokers in America are kind of just one-man shops. They worked somewhere, got their experience, and then they opened their own business, and it's just them. And they got to process the loan. They got to do everything. So he said, if we create a division where we can have kind of processors on staff to support the loan officers who are these one-man shops, or even if you have processing staff, but you just need help because of capacity, we have this that you could pay a little bit of money for whenever you're closing loans with us. You can pay us a little bit of money, and then we will help process your deals for you. That saved them 2 days. So that alone, this creation in the next year or so, saved them 2 days from 12 down to 15. And then they were like, what else can we do? Because it's not enough. Second goal, or the second idea was, well, we can create something that creates more opportunity. Right now, we have, at least back at this point in time, and I could attest to this when I was in the business back then, we ran everything through Fannie Mae. So the two biggest like government insurers of loans, right, is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. they were both always there, but the tech to access and the accessibility of using Freddie Mac was just such a pain in the ass because none of the systems were integrated to use Freddie Mac. So everybody always defaulted to Fannie Mae.
Right.
Here's where this little genius idea they had was like, hey, what if we created a system that incorporated both? Because sometimes you have a loan that can be done with Fannie Mae, can't be done with Freddie Mac and vice versa.
Right.
So if you were getting denied on Fannie Mae, you're just like, deal's dead. And then it comes to somebody like us or somebody who has access to this. Hey, whoa, you're not dead.
Yeah.
We can do this deal. Yeah. We just have to take it in this direction. So they created a thing called dual AUS, which AUS stands for Automated Underwriting System. And this system will underwrite it through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac simultaneously. And then you can basically choose, hey, it's approved with both. Here's the conditions that would be needed if we were to take it this direction or this direction. But now it opens up our options so that we can better serve our clients.
Wow.
And they created this thing. And then that also saved them one day. The interesting thing was they fell short of that goal. They never got down. Well, I think they're at it now. They're like below 12 days now. But by 2020, they were only on like day 13. So they cut it down, but not enough to actually hit the goal of being at 12. But they went from 32 billion to over 180 billion a year.
Holy shit.
In 4 years. And he said the two best things that were created that allowed us to get to that mark of 180 billion were the two things we created to increase our speed. So even though we fell short in this area, this sub goal, we didn't hit that target. We hit all these other targets over here. And his thing was, just make sure you're setting goals, because the brainchild, that thought to improve the efficiency in this area would have never created the result to getting to 180 billion if they weren't trying to hit this other goal. So the idea is set your goals, pursue them with vigor, with everything that you have, because a lot of the times the best things that come from it isn't actually the goal itself.
Right.
It's the things that are created in pursuit of the goal. Which then takes me to the point, Edelio, what's the next big goal that you're pursuing?
Dude, the next big goal is get my business to the place where I want it to be. It's multiple six figures. That's an incredible way to look at goals, because it's exactly setting a target so that you can aim at it. And as you're aiming at it, obviously there's new things that you have to account for. The things that I need to account for right now, obviously my own ability to pour into myself before I can pour into others, because we were talking about this earlier. We both know that we have this ability to turn it on. We have this ability to tap into, let's call it a God-given talent that we've been able to hone early in life, and we've been exposed to certain coaches, certain teachers, certain practices and frameworks that allow us to understand people better, to communicate better, to have a better connection with human beings. But there's also levels to that, right? Like if I'm not in tip-top shape, energetically, emotionally, physically, then I'll also, that switch that I turn on to be able to connect with people gets hindered a little bit. So maybe the level at which it could be is not where I'm used to, or maybe not as effective as it could be if I was on top of all the other stuff. So again, like the goal of like doing this stuff, like I want to get to this place. In order to get to this place, what are the other sub goals that I need to start adjusting in order to get to that place? Dude, that's a revelatory thing that you said. So I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you had that conversation with this dude, because dude, how many people get to talk to hyper billionaires like that, you know?
Yeah. I've also come to the conclusion this is probably the wealthiest guy I'll probably ever meet.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, who knows, but
at least to this point in my,
right.
I mean, he's probably north of 10 billion, at least according to Google. I mean, he's accomplished some things. And, somebody else asked him a question, and it was like a Q&A setting, right? So he went on this like 10-minute thing, and then he did a Q&A, and somebody else asked him, is like, dude, you own two big ass organizations. Like, how do you manage your time? And also, what was the process like to then become an owner of an NBA franchise, because like owning a franchise, a major franchise, is extremely difficult to do, because it's not just, you don't just, oh, I have the money. They don't just let you buy it.
Yeah.
You have to get buy-in from all of the other owners to be able to do that. And one of his arch nemesis owns the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh, shit.
So the two biggest lenders in the country, Rocket and UWM, they're both owners of basketball teams.
Well, look at that.
So they compete in both arenas, which I think is hilarious. But like he had to get buy-in to be able to do that, and like that's an entire process in his own. And he covered a lot of like what was required to do that. I'm not going to get into that today because that wasn't too profound for me.
Yeah.
I think the goal setting thing was just like light bulb, and it was probably the thing that I didn't think would be like at face value. Oh, my biggest fear is that you don't set goals like,
Yeah.
whatever, dude. And then he goes through the whole story. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's strong.
Yeah.
Like that's really good. And that was my biggest takeaway from the event as a whole.
That's how it.
So yeah, man. So you talk about you setting your goals, and getting your business to a level where you're, at multiple six figures.
Yeah.
Do you have any other goals outside of that, or is that like the only goal you're kind of pursuing?
That's the main one, just because in terms of safety for my growing family, that's like, we need that.
It's important. Yeah.
Very important. But I also understand that like having that or generating that level of consistency in my business opens up the door to so many other things that I'm also passionate about. I'm passionate about helping people find their house, move, and doing all this stuff. It's amazing. It's very gratifying, especially because like before I came to this country, my family lost everything to a communist government who expropriated our land, took everything from us, and then we left. We came to the States with legitimately $19,000 to our name, and we restarted.
And how old are you when that happened?
I was 15 going on 16.
So you were like kind of grown at that point.
Yeah.
You had at least an awareness about things.
Yeah, I had already developed a certain personality, some traits. So I had to, it felt like I had to give a lot of that up in order to plug into the system, the culture, and everything else that America is. Not just America, but 2006 pre-crash, South Florida. So
I got you.
So it's its own beast,
Yeah.
right? Like it's almost as if you went to New York, where you're exposed to so many different cultures, ways of viewing struggle or opportunity, excitement, love, all that stuff. So in order for me to, I feel like, survive, I just kind of guarded this version of myself that I had already started to develop. And I just exposed myself to this completely new thing, almost virginally. It felt like I was just showing a new face to most of the experiences that I was getting, and I was holding off on the thing that I had already developed. Little did I know that like a decade in, I would start to almost like go into a crisis of personality, because I didn't let go of this original version of myself, but I definitely filed it away. It felt like I was like, this is not necessary. I see how some of these other kids who are multicultural, or they're naturalized, they came here for someone else, they don't get accepted immediately because they're showing too much of who they are. So that prompted me to be like, let me just play my cards close to my chest type thing. And then through that entire process, I started realizing some of the things that I started developing, all the traumas that I started really engendering because of this almost duality that I was living life with. And now that I have my first kid on the way, I'm like, let me try really hard not to download all this shit onto his pristine little soul. So that whole self-development journey that started at that point, and then has gone through so many different chapters, finding the alliance with EXP and that whole entire office with Bobby and Gil and all these incredible people that really focus on self-development, get me to this point now where I'm like, okay, let's integrate everything. Let's integrate all aspects of my personality. because they'll deserve a seat at the table. Like everybody in my life, everybody that I interact with, all my friends, all my clients, they do deserve to be able to experience all aspects of me, because maybe they don't connect with the Miami version of me, but they can connect with the California version of me. You know what I mean? Like all these different things that I've picked up along the way as I've traveled and experienced things. And like one of our guests said, it's also about that onion where you start peeling all the layers.
Yeah.
You start peeling all the layers as you accumulated them, so you can start finding that version of yourself which is completely devoid of identity. It's like the core, the essence of who we are, which in religion you have this Holy Spirit that's within all of us. In a more mystic sense, you have this Atma, or in the soul of who we are and how we connect with each other. So doing all this stuff is kind of the freakiest, most difficult thing that I've tackled yet. But that's the thing that I'm like, okay, if I focus on the business and I allow all these other doors to, the hinges loosen up a little bit, I can start stepping through all these other doors to find out what's there for me, for my family, for the friends that I have. And that really is the most exciting thing for me at the moment.
So do you ever feel like you're having to put on a mask based on the situation that you're in or the scenario?
All the time. All the time. And it's not like I realize it consciously all the time. It feels like it's almost like second nature, depending on what situation I'm in. It feels like, oh, I automatically know the mask I need from my repertoire to wear or to engender in this setting. The fun part, though, is when I do realize it consciously and I'm like, oh, I'm wearing this mask right now. I now have a choice. I'm like, do I keep wearing the mask and see where the the thing goes? Or do I take it off and allow a completely different, more vulnerable version of myself to enter the room and see how that experience starts out?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've found this too.
Oh man, dude, I got invited out to, honestly, the best dinner experience I've ever had. This was last Friday, so just a few days ago. Best dinner experience I've ever had. And it was a 4-hour dinner.
Oh, wow.
Like a 9-course meal. And the guy who was sitting there, he's over here, he's playing piano and harmonica same time. And then when he wasn't playing harmonica, he was singing. It was like just crazy. The whole
Bob
thing.
Dylan? What the?
Dude, it was amazing. We're like making jokes because like the guys over there, like, that's how you retire. This dude's just having fun. Yeah. He's just enjoying himself. And the food was fantastic. But it was like a triple date. We got invited out. And I mean, these people, probably some of the more successful people that I know.
Yeah.
And these are people like I know personally. Like I've done their loans. I've been to their events that they hosted and stuff. But it's been a while since I've seen them. And since then, I mean, they bought 8-figure freaking buildings and 8-figure, yeah, well, 7-figure, multiple 7-figure buildings, and they're doing all of this crazy stuff, and I'm like, I'm not buying buildings. Like I don't have 65 employees. Like I don't have these things. So I'm like, I mean, I have success to my own degree, but not on the level of who I was at dinner with. And the whole time I'm sitting there, or at least at the very beginning I got there, and like, these are people that hey, what's up, man? Dap up. And like, I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? I gave him a handshake.
Yeah.
And it was like awkward because he wasn't expecting to be like a handshake. He was expecting like a dap.
Yeah.
And I handshook him just because it felt weird because I was running a little bit late and like all of these different things. And it was just funny because it felt like I was wearing that mask. And as the night progressed, it's 4 hours. Like, and if I'm sitting there tense and nervous the whole time, it's going to be a terrible experience. And then like, I don't know, probably an hour in, enough jokes have passed that I'm like, or enough things have been said where I'm not skipping out on the joke because I'm trying to be this person or wear this mask.
Yeah.
Then I was like, dude, I'm just going to crack all my jokes. And then when I loosened up, everything else loosened up. And it was just like, oh,
yeah.
Because when you're goofy and like, I know that I'm goofy as shit.
You're goofy as fuck, bro.
Super goofy. Like I'm a nerd, right?
Yeah.
And I've come like actually even to embrace it. Like, hey man, once you get to know me, you realize I'm just a big ass dork.
Yeah.
And then with the thing that I get now from people is like, yeah, I already picked that up. I'm like, I don't have to hide it.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I love superheroes. I love anime. I love video games. Like, yes. And it's just,
is me.
it's me, bro. But it's like, it's also so freeing because everybody has their own things. And that doesn't, just because I like these things and I might view them as dorky, nerdy, things like that. And when I say I play games, like, I don't play games that you probably think I play. I play like, I mean, you know what games I play, right?
Yeah.
But
There's levels to play.
there's levels to the level of nerd or the level of geekiness that entails it. And I'm probably all the way down to like
The degenerate.
oh yeah, that's intense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't live for it anymore.
Yeah.
When I was younger, that was the only thing that I cared about. And what's funny is I've ruined a lot of relationships because of video games. And I had somebody I was speaking to actually today before this podcast, and I was referencing the episode we shot that had a corrupted file that never went out. I was like, oh, we had a great conversation about this. You should check out. And I was like,
Oh, boy.
never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. But
Yeah.
we talked about, in that podcast, we talked about relationships and we talked about the poison. Where sometimes you can allow a poison in, and the poison could be something so simple, just like a seed of thought.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, not a big deal, but just I'll put this in the corner. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'll just put it in the corner. And eventually that seed blossoms. And let's just say it turns into a dragon.
It grows.
And it grows. And once it's a dragon, it's fucking hard to put down.
Yeah.
Same is true inside of like vices, right? Sometimes you can, like I understand that was a vice for me.
Yeah.
Video games was a huge vice for me because it was something that became very addicting and very all-consuming, where I was going to work and the only thing I'm thinking about is how can I get out of here a little bit early so I can go play my video game. And then when you're thinking about that and you start talking about, we started learning about manifestation and all the things that we talk about.
Where
It's like,
attention goes, energy flows.
oh my God, like
Yeah.
I might be better at this game, but like, is it worth it? Like, if I were going pro or something, or I were a streamer, then sure, but I'm not going to turn that into anything.
Yeah.
Why not use that same level of manifestation and the same level of energy and effort of thought towards something that's actually meaningful to you? So yes, this matters because I still want to do that because I still have things that I enjoy.
It's fun.
But does it matter more than this?
Right.
And so it's just one of those things where you have to come to terms with, maybe this dragon will live here.
Yeah.
Or kill it. That's always an option.
Or bottle it up and keep it in a, you know how they bottle those, I guess they don't bottle them. They build them inside the bottle, the little ships.
Do they actually build them inside the bottle?
They build them inside. Isn't that crazy? Like, because otherwise, how can you fit it through that? You know what I mean? So every single piece of those ships goes in with like long tweezers and glue, and these people will build an entire ship inside these bottles.
A battleship with
Crazy.
3,000 pieces to it.
It's crazy detail.
Yeah.
If you have like a magnifying glass, you could see people in there, like insanity. And that is also a level of, like a completely different level of hobby. Like there's people that like to build Legos, right?
Yeah.
Try building a fucking ship inside a bottle.
That sounds awful. Lego sounds actually kind of easy.
Yeah.
Relative.
Right.
Like I've seen some of those, like the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I kind of want to build it.
It's next level.
I had a neighbor when I was living in Winter Garden who was a huge Star Wars fan. So he had 4 kids. And like you go up the stairs, and on his staircase, most people, they'll have like canvases of their family or whatever, bro. He has posters of the Star Wars movies as you go up, like just all of them framed. Then you walk up, and then there's a room. He has 4 kids. One room specific to just Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like inside of his room, he has like these massive Lego pieces that he's built. Star Wars just everywhere. Yeah. Like I've never met somebody actually isn't even true, because I met somebody a bigger Star Wars fan than him.
Yeah, there's always one there that just, oh yeah, well how about this?
Yeah,
100%.
Because this guy was like all the way in. Because like I walked in, and then there was like a piece he was building, and I want to say, I don't remember what it was, but it was just a big ass like Lego piece that's thousands of pieces, and like I don't even know how you have the patience to do this.
Yeah.
But I was asking him, I was like, how long did that take? He's like, oh, this one took like 6 weeks. I'm like, 6 weeks. Can you imagine if you put 6 weeks into something that was, I mean, for him that's meaningful,
Right.
but
Perspective.
something more meaningful,
Right. Exactly.
like that'd be crazy. But to speak of bigger fans than him,
Yeah.
he would argue he's a bigger fan, but my uncle-in-law, I don't even know how you would describe it. So it's my cousin's uncle. So I don't have relation to him, no blood relation to him, but my cousin's uncle.
Gotcha.
He named his son, his name was, I called him Uncle Charlie,
Oh boy.
but he named his son Lord Zeth.
Lord, like it's in his birth.
Lord Zeth is his name. Yes.
Oh my God.
Like it's actually Lord Zeth. Yeah.
Wow.
Biggest fan. That's the biggest fan. So he goes by Z now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be that kid going through middle school.
No. Well, that's why it goes by Z.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't let
But
anybody
but
look
they're
at you
good
as-
people. Like
Yeah.
hey, if you ever see this, good people. Like crazy fandom though.
Yeah.
We need to have fans like that
Yeah.
in our business. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Actually, I got a good fan story. Speaking of, I got 2 tickets to Epic Universe
From a client.
from a client.
Oh,
But we
that's so
closed
cool.
maybe 6 weeks ago, 6, 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, gave me and my wife Epic Universe tickets, and I'm super stoked.
It's the first time you guys are going.
First time, because I mean, I was always nervous about going because it's too many people.
Yeah. Brand new.
I don't want to be there. I'm not worried about dying on the rides or anything like
Right.
that, but I don't want to be there for 3.5 hours to ride a ride. Like,
That's like a minute and a half. Yeah. No, I get it.
not even most times. Most
40
times
seconds.
rides are short.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited to experience it because from what I hear, it's extremely immersive.
Yeah.
The food there is probably like the best foods in theme parks in general. And I've been a pass holder at Universal for 13 years at this point.
Yeah.
But apparently the food there is very, very good. And there's something I got my eye on.
What is it?
It's like a Donkey Kong milkshake. Hold on. Let me,
A Donkey Kong milkshake?
dude, let me show you something.
Is that like peanut butter and banana or something?
I'm gonna show you right now.
That sounds like a Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong milkshake.
Like a peanut paradise from Tropical Smoothie.
No, this thing is crazy.
Oh, shit.
It looks so good though.
Let us see.
Show that to the camera.
My God. Yeah, I'll put a...
Oh, you'll put a little image in there.
Wow.
Dude, that thing looks fire.
That thing looks like it'll super power you up.
That is the plan. I'm gonna enjoy it. So that's like, I'm excited about that whole experience, and it's kind of cool. Like,
A client gave you tickets.
client gave me tickets.
Think about the emotional resonance, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what it is. When we have these connections with our clients, we know each other well enough that we understand, like, we're not in it for the money. Obviously, we love to make money, but we have a soul, dude. We have a conscience, and we want to make sure that not only do they succeed, right? They get exactly what it is that they're looking for, but they're set up perfectly to maybe turn that into something else further down the line, because we understand how transformational this type of asset can be for their family. So the fact that you're connecting with them at that emotional level that's resonating so well that they go, you know what, we want to give back in this way. It's so fun, dude. I had a client at the baby shower that you were a couple of days ago. They gave us so much stuff because they had their second kid, and the wife is like, I'm tying my tubes. This is it. I'm not doing any anymore. So we have a ton of stuff. And they're like, just come by, pick it up. And when I show up, literally filled my entire car with bassinets, electronic things, warmers, bottles, towels, and you name it, they had a ton of stuff. And on top of that, they also, like, they got us so much stuff from our registry. Like, this is what I feel like most people in our industry need to realize is, like, when you come from abundance, when you allow people to connect with you and you have the courage to take off the mask consciously, because we'll wear a mask. We'll go into situations unknowingly and have these masks. But if you allow this raw, vulnerable connection with your clients, these relationships, like you and I both know, these are relationships that like will stand the test of time. These are going to be our biggest fans. They will bring us more business because they love the way that we treated them, more than any sort of marketing, paid marketing could ever do. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
it's incredible, and it's very fulfilling. So that's super cool that they did that. Well, we'll have to step away for a second because duty calls. And dude, when we yap, we could really yap. So I hope you like this episode. I know I'm a huge fan of these solo episodes. They're a little bit different because when we have guests, they have a ton of good things to say and they can connect with you maybe in a different way. But for me personally, as I move forward, and as I know as Will moves forward in his own journey, having these solo episodes where we can bounce ideas off of each other and really experience more of like a direct connection, it's super impactful for us. And I hope it is for you. So if you had any sort of learning moment, if you connected with anything that we said, feel free to leave a comment. We read every single thing that you guys say. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you are alerted next time we post anything. Share with somebody that you feel like would benefit from listening to something like this. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. See you next time.